to show that just because you're little, you're a kid or a teen or whatever, that you can still be fired up for God just like the adults can.
When you're united for Christ, you're always ready to share the word with other people.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tyrone Smith, the youth minister here at the Church Without Walls. I'm super excited to get this thing going as we close out the Can You Hear Me Now series. Harmony, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good deal. Hey, so remember, let your friends know, let everybody know, like, subscribe, or share. We're about to close this series out, and it's about challenge you in regards to being and knowing that God has called you to do great things, but can you hear him? But the key is, how will you respond? Harmony, you ready to get this thing going?
I'm very ready.
Give the people what they want.
No matter what I have to do, 'cause I need you more and more. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do, 'cause I need you more and more. I'm chasing after you, no matter what. No matter what, 'cause I need you more and more. Yeah, yeah. I'm chasing after you, Lord, 'cause I need you more and more. More and more. More and more. don't know how, but you did it. Made a way. Standing here, not knowing how we'll get through this test, but holding on to faith, you know best. And nothing can catch you by surprise. You've got this figured out, and you're watching us now. And when it looks as if we can't win, you wrap us in your arms and step in. Everything we need you supply. You've got this in control, and now we know that you made a way. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. And now we're here, looking back on where we come from. Because of you and nothing we've done to deserve the love and mercy you've shown, but your grace was strong enough to pick us up. Oh, you made a way. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, oh, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You made a way. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, oh, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. Oh, and you move mountains and you cause walls to fall with your power. You perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you move mountains. You cause walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you move mountains. You cause walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made. And we're standing here only because you made. We're standing here only because you
He is here, in this room, in your heart. He is near, nearer than breath, heartbeats, nearer than you are to you, nearer than second chance or next opportunity, closer than tonight or yesterday. He is real, realer than touch, see, hear, smell, or taste, realer than reality. He is our reality, realer than joy, pain, sorrow, realer than the love of being in love. He is present like time, space, wind, silence, night. He is waiting like creation, like words on the tip of tongue, like songs that have yet to be sung. He is beauty, oranges, blues, every hue, every shade, sunset and sunrise. Whisper his name. He is holy, different, made human, became human, forgave human. He is spirit. He cannot be touched, explains like sweet seconds of prayers, like grandmother on knees, wood floor bare. He is son, distinctly three, distinctly one, the only wise, the only resurrector of lives. He is king. No earthly throne can house, no amount of elegant words can espouse. He is moment and voice, power of choice, in word and deed, in fruit and seed, pierced side, nailed hands, nailed feet, innocent wounds that bleed. He is believe and trust. He is enough. He is all. He is call and purpose. Everything that we can sacrifice, he's worth it and more, much more. Our good deeds are mere pennies. We'll never even the score. He is behold and wow. He is who, what, when, why, how. He puts on the show. He's the one we come to see. He is soul's cry and sinner's plea. He is the epitome. He's the one no one can light a candle to or come within a 1,000,000-foot pole of. He is above. He is a father's love. He is maker of ways, of earth and wind. Ancient of days, has no fear. Have no fear. God is here.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm really excited, man, to actually close out this particular series. Can you hear me now? It's been a phenomenal past 4 weeks where we talked and dialogued and discussed about what it truly means to actually hear from God. Yes, I know you're actually checking me out and like, man, does the brother have a bullhorn in his hand? Yes, I have a bullhorn. And the reason why I actually have this bullhorn, because there was a point I wanted people to hear me. Yes, I needed them to hear me like loud and clear, like very clear. So I actually had a bullhorn. You may be asking, like, man, why did you need a bullhorn? When did you need a bullhorn? Have you ever coached middle school kids? Think for a moment. Maybe, maybe not. But if you've never coached middle school kids, you will have no idea what I'm talking about. So here it is. My wife and I, we're the volunteer coaches at our son's school. We're the middle school track coaches. And so we support the track team. And then, like, I'm trying to get the kids' attention, right? I'm, like, yelling and I'm screaming at my loudest, and yet these kids could not hear me. And I told my wife, I said, you know what, Monica? We have about 4 bullhorns. Yes, we have 4 bullhorns in our garage, and don't ask me why, but we have 4 bullhorns. And this is like the largest of the bullhorns that we actually have. Yes, and so I told my wife, I said, you know what, Monica? I'm going to get the largest bullhorn, and I'm going to take it to practice, the one with the little mic on it. And I'm going to make sure I have the bullhorn with the supersized batteries so the kids can hear my voice clearly. She's like, Tyrone, really? I'm like, yes, I'm taking the bullhorn. So I took the bullhorn to track practice. And I'm ready to start calling kids names so they can hear and understand my instruction in regards to my guidance on the track. You know, arms and knees. I need your knees, toes up. I'm trying to bark out instructions. And my bullhorn didn't work. I put brand new batteries in the bullhorn. This is the biggest bullhorn in the Smith household, and I was unable to use it. But I needed it to work. And my wife, she was like, Tyrone, like, really, what you got to understand, it's all about the relational capacity. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it's the relational capacity. I'm like, okay, she's getting spiritual right now. She's like, what you got to understand, Tyrone, by you connecting and engaging with the students over the next couple of weeks, and they get to know you and you get to know them, by you spending quality time with them, they will know your voice. They will hear you call, and they will answer. You won't have to yell. You will not have to scream. You will not have to get one of the 4 bullhorns that we actually have at our household and get the biggest one, by the way. Just relax, spend time, connect, and engage with the young people And I can assure you, based on your relational capacity, they will hear you, right? They will answer the call, they will heed instructions, and they will be okay. And I was like, thank you, beautiful wife of mine. And so think about this. With this particular series, it is titled, Can You Hear Me Now? And God didn't use the bullhorn when he got Moses' attention, Paul's attention, or Samuel, or countless others in the Bible. Just a voice, sometimes a whisper, but a voice. It wasn't a loud, booming voice, but it was a voice. And this series is really designed, as we talked about before, to really understand and know the call that God may have for you in your life. And we're going to just do a recap over what we talked about for the past 4 weeks and how Jesus called others, how God called others. And it was done in such a unique way. And remember, when he calls them, number one is because he has a relationship with them, when he called them by their name. But in this series, he called individuals by their name twice. That means he has a close relationship with them. And whatever it is he's going to say was super important. And so what I want y'all to think about for a moment, when you think about, can you hear me now, and the call that God may have for any one of you, is more so about how do you respond. Think about that. It's all about how do you respond. And we're going to read today's scripture, and we're going to see how a couple of individuals responded. And I'm going to break down the acronym for respond to give you biblical guidance, knowledge, and understanding about how you should respond and things that go into your response, all right? So we're going to read from Matthew 4, verses 18 through 22, all right? As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, called Peter, and his brother Andrew. They were casting the net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said. I will send you out to fish for people. At once they left their nets and they followed him. Going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing their nets. Jesus called them. Immediately, they left the boat and their father, and they followed him. Now you have these men that become disciples. And here it is, God in the form of man, and Jesus, he actually go and he calls them. He said, man, stop what you're doing. I need you to roll with me. They stop what they're doing, and they follow him. And then he goes to another set of brothers. He tells them, even though you're with your father, dude, I mean, I know that's your dad, but I need you to stop what you're doing, and I need you to follow me. And they stopped what they were doing, and they followed him. I'm like, man, could you imagine, though? Think about that. I'm a dad. I have two boys, TJ and Tyler. And then some man just like rolled up. It was like, TJ and Tyler, I need you to like stop what you're doing. I need you to follow me. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I y'all mind. But Jesus, man, he had it like that. God in the form of man, he actually had it like that. So here it is, you have two sets of brothers that responded. Okay, cool, we're going to follow you. But not everybody respond like that. If God is calling you, how do you respond? If God is challenging you, how do you respond? And what we're going to do today, we're going to break down the stories that we covered over the past couple of weeks, and we're going to break down in regards to how you should respond. Number one, when you think about respond, it's about realization. It's about realizing that God has a purpose and a plan for you. If God calls you in a unique way, and we're going to talk about some of the unique ways here shortly, it's about realizing and knowing that God has a purpose and a plan for you. You could not have told me when I was in the 5th grade, this troubled kid at Ridgemont Elementary that got in trouble all the time, that people picked on me, talked about my head was too big, I was antagonized, I was bullied, I had low self-esteem. You could not have told me as a 5th grader or a 4th grader or a 7th grader or a 9th grader that God would actually have a purpose and a plan for me in my life. That wasn't my reality. So I thought. But I need each of you all to realize and understand and know that in your life, I need you to realize that God has a purpose and a plan for you. But it's about you being open, honest, genuine, and real with knowing that God has a purpose and a plan for you. Realize that. But yet I can say realize that, and a lot of you all out there will come up with excuses. Yes, some of y'all will come up with excuses, like Moses in Exodus. He had excuses, and he made many excuses. And God came to him in the form of a burning bush, and he told him, I want you to go to Egypt. I want you to free my people, right? I want you to go to Egypt. I want you to challenge Pharaoh and tell him he's going to free my people, and you're going to lead them, right, on this great escape. And Moses was like, dude, like, I'm not even like qualified. Excuse. But here it is. God is calling him. And when you think about your life, is God calling you to do something, but you're constantly coming up with excuses? Moses came up with all the excuses. He was like, man, what will I say? I stutter all the time. I don't have the best vernacular. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the coolest. I'm not the best person that should do this job. I think you should actually go and get somebody else. Excuses. And a lot of you all make excuses. Why not understand and know that God can use you in a tremendous way? Why not put your selfish thoughts aside and put God at the center and see how much better that you will be as a person? Realize the purpose and the call and the plan that God has for you. But you don't have to make excuses. People constantly make excuses. But maybe some of y'all are like shocked. Like, man, you know, like, how could God actually use me, right? I'm shocked. You're shocked. Maybe like Paul. Paul was shocked. Could you imagine Paul's story in Acts? Paul of Tarsus, who used to be called Saul, who persecuted Christians because he didn't believe anything about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He was like, man, I'm going to kill everybody that believe. You know, he just killing people, just done with them. But yet he had to take this journey to Damascus. And on the road to Damascus, he was hit by this bright light. And he heard this voice. And he was shocked. And he was like, who are you? Yeah, he was shocked. God may be calling you to do something right now based on where you are, based on what you're dealing with, going through, and experiencing. But he may reveal himself unto you in such a way that it may shock you. Somebody may come to you and say something like, man, or girl, man, I believe that you're going to do something special with your life. I'm sure you're going to be a game changer, a difference maker. And you're like, no, not really, not me. That can't be me. You may be shocked one day. Like Paul, he was shocked. A bright light. I'm going to go persecute some Christians. And God, is that you calling unto me, but yet giving me instructions? I'm sure he was shocked. I'm sure that Moses was shocked when he's out tending to the sheep and he see a burning bush. Yes, a bush that's burning, and there's a voice coming from the bush. I would have been shocked as well. And so when you think about that shock effect, what is it in your life that God has shocked you about? Think about that for a moment. What is it in your life that God is trying to do in regards to getting your attention? That's shock treatment. Paul was shocked. Moses was shocked. Paul wasn't the best in regards to living a humane life. He was killing people just because of what they believed in. And you may be the individual like, man, how can God use me based on my past? Even Moses murdered somebody. Moses like, dude, based on my past. Paul like, based on my past. 2 Corinthians 5:17 reads, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he or she is a new creation. The old is gone and the new has come. Despite your failures, your faults, or your circumstances or situations, God can use you where you are. But I need you to realize, understand, and know that God has a specific purpose and plan for you. Don't make excuses. Don't be so shocked when the moment and the time comes. But next thing I want y'all to do, pray. Pray. Pray daily to discover God's plan for your life. God challenges you. Okay, you beyond the shock treatment and everything, right? He's called you in a way, and you answer the call. But I need you to pray over your life in regards to how will God use you? How will God use me in this moment and in this time? Because I can assure you, with so many different wild and crazy things going on in the world, there's a purpose that each and every one of us hold. But we need to pray for guidance, for wisdom, and understanding in regards to the direction that God will give unto us in regards to the big picture things that we may need to do. To pray is have an intentional, genuine conversation with God. What's on your mind, what's on your heart, because he already knows what's on your mind and what's on your heart, but it's about you being intentional about having this open communication in prayer and dialogue and discussion with God. Because why? It's necessary. It is necessary for you to respond to God in prayer. And it's about you being honest with yourself about the call, the purpose, and the position that he's given unto you. But there's something you got to be aware of, everybody. You got to overcome obstacles. Overcome obstacles on your way to God. If you want to follow God's call, you will encounter various obstacles. Yeah, you're going to encounter various obstacles. There are things you're going to deal with and things you're going to go through. There were things that Moses dealt with and Moses actually went through. Obstacles. But think about this for a moment. If you've ever wanted something in life and you put your all in, there were obstacles that you had to overcome. Think about that. You're going to face obstacles. I remember I was playing football one year, and I remember talking to this guy about ministry and about life and about being a believer. And one of my teammates was like, man, it don't take all that. And I'm just like sitting up here like, man, like, dude, why? Number one, I'm not even talking to you, number one. Like, why are you in this conversation? He's asking me some pertinent, specific questions, and he's just hating. Understand this, guys. There's a hater born every 2.4 seconds, but you have to let your haters be your motivators. Guys, understand this. Haters actually motivate you to get beyond the circumstance and the situation in regards to a hater is an obstacle. Failure. Unforeseen situation. Obstacles come up. People come up that are used as obstacles, as haters in certain circumstances and situations. But understand this. If God has called you to do something, be true to it. Moses had to be true to it because he had obstacles. He had to prove to Pharaoh all these different things that were necessary in regards to the bigger picture, but they were just obstacles. Don't let anything hold you back, because for the past 4 weeks, we've talked about in depth about what it means to really answer the call in regards to your life, your purpose, and your mission. It don't matter what people say or think. It don't matter what happened, because life happens. We're dealing with a great obstacle right now, COVID-19. We're dealing with COVID-19, but yet ministers around the world, teachers around the world, cameramen, women, AV teams around the world are not going to let COVID stop them from proclaiming the gospel. We're coming to you virtually right now. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're coming to you virtually. We're overcoming the obstacle. We can't let COVID-19 hold us back from fulfilling the purpose that God has given us. What about you? Think about that for a moment. Obstacles are a part of life, but it's about how will you approach the obstacle when it's before you. All right, here we go right here. How do you respond in nourishment? Nourish your life by connecting with someone that can support you in your journey with God, right? You got to nurture that relationship. You got to nourish a relationship. You got to make a connection to have an intentional accountability, a mentor. Think about it. If you want to nurture your relationship with God in regards to answering the call, connect with somebody, hear what I'm saying? Connect with somebody that can hold you to the expectations that God would actually have for you, whatever it is. Think about that for a moment. Connect with somebody. For me, when I think about my connection in regards to my journey to ministry, I think about my coach, Dennis Brantley. He was my 8th grade coach. And the thing about this particular man, I really appreciated everything about him because he was a believer. He loved the Lord. He loved his family. He was athletic. He's my track coach. And he was just like all about doing things the right way. So he was like my first mentor and accountability partner in ministry because he invited me to a Bible study as an 8th grade student. Fellowship of Christian Athletes had a Bible study before school. He invited me. He said, Tyrone, come to our Bible study. I'm like, man, Bible study is at 6:30 in the morning before school. I'm not coming to school extra early for Bible study. He was like, Tyrone, we have free donuts and orange juice. I was like, dude, sign me up. I will be there. How many donuts can I get? Can I get a dozen? I digress. I'm sorry. But I was there. But I had no idea that free donuts and orange juice was going to change my life. And so here it is. The donuts and orange juice changed my life. I connect with Coach Brantley. I connect this and have this nurturing relationship in regards to growing spiritually as a young man. I found my life scripture, Proverbs 3:5-6, by being a part of the study. Proverbs 3:5-6 reads, trust in the Lord with all your heart and all your ways. Acknowledge him for he will lead your way and direct your path. So I'm connected with Coach Brantley. He's my mentor. He's my accountability partner. I'm nurturing. I'm growing. I'm getting nourishment in regards to my spiritual growth and development as a young man at 13 years old. And here it is. I'm fulfilling at that moment the call that God actually had for me. But I didn't do it alone. So understand this. In regards to your life journey, in regards to whatever God will have you to do or be, connect with somebody, a mentor, somebody that will hold you accountable in regards to the expectations and the life journey that God will actually have for you. Think about that for a moment. Think about that. Connect. Be intentional. And that's one thing that we're going to see here as we go to the next point. Devote. Devote yourself to God daily for guidance in your life. Make time for God. When I think about devote in regards to how you should respond, I think about Samuel. In 1 Samuel, God called out to Samuel. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And when God called out to Samuel, the first couple of times, Samuel actually thought that it was Eli calling him, but it wasn't Eli. And so Eli responded, God is calling unto you. Be in tune to what he was saying. And from that moment on, Samuel stayed close to the Ark of the Covenant. He became more devoted and connected so he can hear clearly what it is that God would actually have for him. And think about this for a moment. It don't matter your upbringing, where you're from, or where you're at. If you devote more time to God, you can clearly hear and see what it is he may actually have for you. Despite the fact that we live in a noisy world, it's about you understanding and knowing your devotion is key. So if you make time for God, and that time is quality time, God will reveal himself unto you. Think about that for a moment. If you spend intentional quality time, look at Paul, who used to be Saul, Moses, Jonah, David, Samuel, Martha, Mary. I mean, the list goes on and on. But they all devoted their time. And once you devote your time, you respond in such a way where, yeah, you realize you're not overcome by excuses. You know what I mean? Yeah, there may be some shock, but you have time to pray, right? And you can't overcome those obstacles because why? You prayed. But yet, there's a nurture relationship because you have nourishment. Because why? You've devoted time. Can you hear? But it's hard to hear if you haven't made a decision. So if you're tuning in today and you feel led to make a decision for Christ for the very first time, to give your life unto him, to surrender, to give all, because your way hasn't been working. You're like, Father, I give it up, I surrender, because my life isn't going the way that it should go. So if you feel led to respond to today's message, it's about you realizing and knowing that you have the capacity to give your life to Christ today by making a decision to say, I want to win. So if you feel led to make a decision for Christ, I want you to know that this could be your day, this could be your moment in your time. And all you have to do is respond by giving yourself away. Let all those things that have actually held you back from being the best version of yourself, let them go. God is waiting. So today, if you feel led to make a decision for Christ, this could be your moment and this could be your time. Or maybe you're tuning in today and you feel led to rededicate or recommit your life to Christ. It's about you right now. If it's right to be in relationship and fellowship and wrong to be out of relationship and fellowship, hey, hit the reset button. And know that as a church and as a ministry, we're here to help, support, and receive you in your journey. Or maybe you're tuning in today and you feel led to make a decision to join the church membership here at the Church Without Walls. Hey, we're here to accept you and receive you virtually. So if you're here to give your life to Christ today virtually, rededicate your life to Christ, or be a part of the church membership, we celebrate you. We give you a virtual handshake, a virtual hug, a virtual round of applause. And what I want you to do, I want you to go to churchwithoutwalls.org and go to the guest tab, all right, and click accept Christ or join the church. And somebody from our assimilation team will connect and get you going with everything that we have going on here at the Church Without Walls. So we just thank you for making the decision that you've made, and we celebrate you. It's truly an honor and a blessing that you're with us here today, and we thank you. Hey, thanks for tuning in today, man, for being a part of this special message as we close out the Can You Hear Me Now series. It's been a phenomenal moment in time and opportunity to really dive deep into moments and times biblically where God called individuals personally by their name. And if that's you, man, hey, heed the call. Hey, everybody, hey, man, thank you for tuning in, man, to be a part of the Ignite Sunday Live as we close out the Can You Hear Me Now series. Hey, but remember, we need to see you all again on next week. So invite somebody, let somebody know, let the whole world know, man, that we're here at the Church Without Walls with the Ignite Sunday Live trying to connect and engage and challenge you all to be all that God has called you to be. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart on behalf of our church, on behalf of our pastor, a.k.a. Dr. Ralph Douglas West, the Big Aristotle, or the Big Belichick. We want to just thank you again for tuning in. So right now, we are about to receive the benediction from our pastor, Dr. Ralph Douglas West.
Look this way, I want to bless you as we prepare to go into the world as salt and light. And didn't we have a marvelous worship experience today? We are so fortunate to live in an age where we have this kind of technology, where we can bring the gospel of Jesus Christ into your home. In fact, a theme we can use is bring God's house to your house. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face smile upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift the light of his countenance on you and grant you his peace. And may the Lord bless you when you go out and come in, when you rise up early and settle late, in your labor and in your leisure, in your laughter and in your tears, until that day when we shall stand at the feet of Jesus, where there's no sunrise or sunset. Be encouraged.